Hello and welcome to another 10-minute talk. My name's David Gornall from Welshshire, UK. I am the founding member of Welshshire UK, which is basically a platform to explore new ideas and concepts, to look at creating a new financial system, a new philosophy on life, you might say. But it's going to be built from the ideas of people, rather than one ideology, one political system. Because the fundamental belief of Welshshire UK is that we want to invest in people. We believe that people should be invested in. This is the key to our future. It's the key to everything, really. That we need to get back to this, or get back to some kind of commonality, some common goal, if you will, where we can all work together towards an aim, and that's no bad thing, surely. So if you come over to our website at www.welshshireuk.org, you'll hit the landing page, and the first thing you'll see is our strapline, which is think differently, live differently. And that is kind of essentially sums up what we kind of want people to aspire to, all of us, me included. That doesn't mean we're here to deliberately think differently, or deliberately to be sort of an anti-force, if you will, always pushing away what we had before. Look, we know this system works. Whether you like it or not, it does. But however, it keeps 2% of people or 1% of people very, very rich and in total power control. It keeps another 10% rich. It keeps 20% more comfortable. The rest are sort of the striving mass, if you will. If you can quite understand what I'm saying, they're not poor. They're not poor. We're lucky to live in a country, and you could say, well, you're kicking a financial system that's giving you what you've got, and I sort of have to agree, but that isn't going to help us moving forward. And we have to all accept that although we have a financial system that's doing what it's doing, it is failing every 15 years or so, and it will fail again. Will there be a catastrophe? I probably doubt it, because at the end of the day, that we the people will just pour in money into it and restart it, reboot it, which is exactly what we've done time and time again. And this kind of brings back to my view of, challenging what we're doing, because the big thing with Welshshire is when we're saying that each citizen will be valued as a person. Fundamentally, we start with the value of people. Each citizen is worth, I'm putting it to the moment, is worth £25,000 per year. So they get that paid to them. From there onwards, of course, they would be expected to return that to the nation, which we all will do without much effort, just going to work, just being a homemaker. Just being a homemaker. Now, that doesn't mean I've just used the word just being a homemaker. Look, this is a vital role. The home is a vital role. If you're in a position where you can create a sort of support structure, because that is the key to life, having a support structure. Many people don't have that. Their families are fragmented, or there just isn't that support structure. It just isn't there. The concept of it isn't even in the psyche, and often it's why one could say middle-class people often fare more in the sense of, success. It's because they tend to understand the support structure a little bit more. Now, in the old days, maybe, when people live very close proximity to each other in terraced houses, they didn't travel to work. They all worked in the local factories. They all worked locally. They went and entertained themselves locally. then there would have been that support structure. And you can ask them all how, in the old days, how fantastic it was, because there was, always someone there for you. But in a world now where people sort of live on top of each other and they don't socialise because they don't work with them. The pubs have all gone, so essentially they're not got that sort of community. Obviously the church isn't as sort of powerful as, in that sense, as a draw for people as it was, which is kind of sad in some ways. So that sort of support structure for a lot of people is disappearing and has gone. And this is why there is quite a hole that's being tried to filled by government with agencies and social workers doing their best. But, the problem is just so large and so difficult. So again, this is why, even though we could cite the financial system as a success, it is in terms of finance. If you're just making money, it's fine. But money is just money. It's just a method of storing things. And if you propagate the idea that you can't print money and you can't create money out of nothing, this is an absolute nonsense. Because our fiat system is a system of creating money out of nothing. Now, many people would suggest this is which is where the evil comes from, that banks just print money out of nothing. And in many ways, on the face of it, it looks as though they do, but they don't really. They kind of do, but they don't. There still has to be something that underwrites it. And at the end of the day, when I was formulating all this, welfare is very much like borrowing money or getting money from a bank. They're all doing welfare, because how else would you borrow money? How would business grow or do anything if they didn't just print more money? I often, where would the Porsches come from? Who's got the money together to build the Ferraris and the Porsches and the jets? And somewhere along the line, a business group of people came to a bank and went, we want to build this airplane and we need, 50 trillion billion. And somebody's had to print that money for them. Now, of course, they're paying it back or they're contributing, but the point being is they're contributing then after they borrow the money into a financial system, and it keeps us all working. So printing that money may have been a very good investment, which is what I'm saying with welfare. We're saying the same thing. I know there's much evil in possibly in the financial system, and people don't want governments and things like this, but I just can't see it happening. And there are government, don't forget. So yeah, what I'm saying is get over to the site, get involved. We do say be a part of something. It's very grassroots. Of course, it's grassroots. And we know what that means. That means I don't have a PhD in economics, but it's not going to take that, is it? If the people with PhDs had anything about them, we wouldn't be in this mess, would we? And that's not a slight on them. I'm just saying it's the system that they are presented with and that we all have to deal with. It's not their faults or anything like that. I mean, why would it be, I use this analogy that if you ask the Ministry for Defence what he thinks about nuclear weapons, he'll probably say, oh, give me 200 more. Because his job is Ministry of Defence. So he's going to want everything at his disposal. But, if the people said to him, we don't want nuclear weapons, we don't want to be a country that's threatening other countries, because it's a stance that's, in a modern age, utterly ludicrous. And if the people of the world all got together and told the governments get rid of them, they would have to, right? Because if 5 billion people don't want to do something, we're not doing it. So that's about 10 minutes. Thank you for listening.